Well, gracious greetings, St. Stephen family and guests. Welcome to another edition of Living Water for Thirsty Thursday. Well, here I am, as you can tell, at California Baptist University. I just wanted to continue our discussion talking about flirting. Yeah, we were looking at Matthew 18 last week, and we were really talking about how we can be a stumbling block for others. And we wanted to build upon that in talking about being infected, being affected, and then being effected from the results, if you would, of flirting. And so just quickly, just to hit that, infecting, when we do something, like we said, whether it is the clothing, it's gestures, it's words that are shared, that expresses that interest to somebody else, or as we looked at the word last week, that scandalon word that we speak of, where we could become a stumbling block. Yeah, if we are doing that thing and that becomes, if you would, a way to infect someone or to pass that lustful behavior that we may have, that flirting behavior that we may have into another individual. And then once that person is inoculated with that flirting, if you would, then they move from being inoculated to being affected by it, affected. And affected is actually speaking of a person where an event occurs, something happens, right? That's that affect that you can have on a person. And so, and then the effect is then the results or the consequences as to what happened. So infected is when someone gets inoculated with the flirting. The affect, once it gets inside of us, is the event of what it does, how it triggers our feelings, our emotions, our desires, and maybe even moving us to the point where we lust or want something that we shouldn't. And then there is, unfortunately, an effect, a consequence from that, where we may then act on those feelings, or we may act on those affects, or we may act on the infection. And so, of course, we can use anything with that. It's important to know, and the whole reason we're bringing this out is those 3 steps, those 3 phases, if you would, is what we put a person through when we are not really intentional and thinking and prayerful and insightful about what we may wear, what we may say, how we may look or leer, how the effect that it will have on others. We could actually be infecting them, which then triggers them to be affected. Something happens inside, and then there is a said effect from that, and they start to live those things out, which takes us back to Matthew 18:7 that we looked at last week, that allows us to then be a trigger or be a stumbling block for someone else. Well, prayerfully, just those few pieces kind of help you to see the magnitude of what flirting can be, not only for yourself, but to others that you come in contact with, or others that you flirt with. Next week, we're going to talk to some individuals and let them define flirting, and then also let them tell us how they believe God defines flirting as well. And then them actually speaking about how they react or respond to someone flirting to them. Well, continue to make God proud in all you say, think, and do. Great campus, California Baptist University. There's some flag football going on over there.